Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So for today's head-to-head comparison, we're taking a look at the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90 and comparing it to a 2023 GMC Acadia all-wheel drive Denali. Both of these have a very similar MSRP. Both are finished off in white too. But we are going to get right into this with what powers both of these three-row SUVs. That is the main comparison for today's review, having two full-size three-row SUVs. So we're gonna start off with the Acadia, where there are a few different engine options. This model here, price for price with the Mazda, has the 3.6 liter V6 paired to the 9-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 310 horsepower, 271 pound-feet of torque, sent through that all-wheel drive system. Over on the Mazda, we have the 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder paired with the electric motor system. It has an 8-speed automatic and pumps out 323 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, sent through an all-wheel drive system as well. So as you can tell right off the bat, we have two different engine options. You can get a 4-cylinder turbo in the Acadia, however that MSRP is going to be significantly less. So MSRP for MSRP, these are the two different engine options that you can get. And so real quick, for overall dimensions, wheelbase on the Mazda is 122.8 inches. We have a length of 201.6, width of 77.6, height is 68.2. And then over on the Acadia, we have 112.5 inches for that wheelbase, so much shorter. Overall length is 193.4, width is 75.4, height is 66.7. So the Acadia is significantly smaller than the CX-90. But let's move on to the exterior styling now, where we have the Platinum Premium package for the CX-90. We have Denali for the Acadia. So that gives us chrome accents for both. You'll notice the entire grille for the GMC is finished off in chrome. We have a forward-facing camera along with the GMC badge. Mazda has a camera too, forward sensor though, for the Mazda logo, and then everything is gloss black with the chrome surround. Now there is a sensor for the radar cruise. It's tucked away down in the lower section for this Acadia. We have fog lights, LED lights for the Mazda, no fog lights however, parking sensors, and then some airflow in the lower section. Completely different, but kind of have a similar vibe to them as far as the styling goes. But let's work our way to the side profiles now. We get a set of 20-inch wheels over on the Mazda, same with the GMC too. A little bit different of a design, a little bit more of a chrome style finish to it with the blacked out design for the Mazda. Power folding side mirrors, cameras, turn signals as well. Over on the Mazda, you have a full panoramic sunroof. Over on the GMC, it's actually split. So you have one for your front passengers, one for the middle. It'd be cool to see one for your third row passengers too. But as far as the side styling goes, we have chrome that surrounds the upper section of the window trim. It surrounds the entire window trim. We have very similar looks down below with Mazda stamped in that accent, Denali stamped in that one. And then roof racks too, a little bit more capable with the roof racks that are on the GMC. A little bit more boxy styling compared to the flowing look for this Mazda. And hopefully you can tell from this angle just how much larger that Mazda actually is. When you have them side by side, you can definitely tell, especially with its shape in the back versus more upright on the Acadia. But let's work our way to the rear end styling now. For this Acadia, we have more chrome, LED taillights. This can tow right around 4,000 pounds, and it even gets the remote start, something that is not offered on the Mazda. And you can shut that off if you need to. We have the power liftgate, which is pretty self-explanatory. And in back, this is where you really see that overall length difference. We have a short area behind this third row. A little bit of storage underneath if you'd like to use it. And then we have the manual adjustments for these back seats, so you can quickly raise and lower those. You can also fold down the second row from the back. So you can do that on both sides. If you're in a pinch, you really need them folded down to put in some items. It's definitely very helpful to have. Now, as we work our way over to the Mazda now, this has a towing capacity right around 3,500 pounds. So while it has a smaller engine, it has more horsepower and torque. You can actually out-tow it a little bit with the V6. Now in back, we have some chrome on just the logo, LED taillights, more chrome down below. And then, like I mentioned earlier, no remote start for the Mazda, which is interesting to see, but you can still open up the power liftgate just like on the GMC. And then here's where you're going to see, it's gonna be hard to tell, probably 4 or 5 inches difference here. You have the charger for the plug-in, not as much space as over on the GMC, but you have a few more auxiliaries that you can use, and then the same design goes for these back seats in order to fold them down. Now you cannot actually fold down that second row from back here, so you do have to get out, go around, and grab the handles by the headrest to fold them down. So a little bit different in that design, but you can also close and lock it up on the top of that power liftgate. Let's jump into the interiors now. Let's start up front for the Acadia. We have a very nice interior for the Denali trim level, wood trim. There's an adjustment for the rear liftgate there, some more chrome, memory seating adjustments. These are even heated and ventilated too. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the specifics for this. I have a full review of this exact model as well as the Mazda. So if you'd like to see all of the details, be sure to check out those separate reviews. Really nice steering wheel. We have the controls on both sides, as well as power and volume. You get head-up display, a little bit of info to go through in that gauge cluster setup, and then a nice touch screen where you can easily go through all of that info. We have the dual zone, wireless charging, more storage, even different driving modes, which is nice to see. 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, off-road. You have heated and ventilated seats, a little bit of storage. Same with the glove box there. And then this also gets the digital rear view camera, which is nice. Sunglass holder up top, and then those dual pane sunroofs. Now let's go ahead and hop into the Mazda, where the door panel has a really nice look to it as well. We have some trim accents up top. This has memory seats too. Controls are a little bit different spot. More storage down below, and the two-tone design for these seats. Now as we fire up the Mazda, there's a few more controls on the steering wheel, but very similar. Paddle shifters on the back instead of volume and tuning. Now this does have a head-up display, but it's not configurable like in the Acadia. We have some controls down below for your traction control, gas cap, even your power liftgate, and some more tech. Now this does have a larger infotainment system, but it's not touchscreen. It might be touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but for the main system, you have to use the controls down below. I think that's the biggest drawback with this Mazda, is the fact that it's not a touchscreen system. It's easy to use these once you get used to it, but to me, it's still a little bit of an inconvenience compared to full touchscreen. Now underneath that, heated and ventilated seats, dual zone, heated steering wheel, all of your climates. You can even control rear climates too, which is missing over there. Wireless charging, only 3 drive modes, but you do have the EV mode too. So you can run strictly EV. We have cup holders, charging, downhill assist control, 360 camera system, which the Acadia has, I did not show. And then we have a little bit of storage in the middle there, same with the glove box too. Up top, sunglass holder, but we don't have that rear view digital camera. I think that is something that should be added too, in a little bit different style for the sunroof up top. So again, check out the full detailed review. I went through that a little bit quick. So we have some advantages and disadvantages to both of these models, but let's work our way to the biggest difference between these, the back 2 rows. So over on the Acadia, I can slide the seat forwards. That gives me access into the 2 seats in the back. Now I will say, I have a good bit of space. I have a few inches above my head. We have some cup holders, some auxiliaries. You can have 2 people back here at my height and be comfortable. So you can make it work. If we look at the middle row now, they are adjustable, so you can move them forwards and backwards. They recline and incline. They're also heated. We have all of those adjustments, 2 cup holders and some more storage down below. And then 2 cup holders are in the middle. You have your individual sunshade with vents up top. So it's nice. It's a nice place to be, very spacious, plenty of headroom in that second row. Now, over on the Mazda, this can be a 7 or an 8-seater. So you can get the 2 captain's chairs like are currently installed, or you can get that bench style seat. So you can have 6 people behind the front two, because this is a 3-row for the 3rd row. We have more cup holders, more auxiliaries, and again, 5'10". I have a few inches above my head. So you do get that added space and configurations for more seating, especially with one back here and then that one in between the captain's chairs. But everything else is very similar as far as being able to slide the seats. We have the captain's chair, so that's a little bit different. Heated, just like over there, all the climate adjustments. We have the cup holders right in the middle there. And then the sunroof goes all the way back, so you're not missing anything there. And so that's a look at the Mazda CX-90, all new plug-in hybrid from Mazda. And we have the GMC Acadia Denali. Let's go ahead though and get both of these out on the road and see what they're like to drive. And setting off in the GMC Acadia, we have a very healthy get up and go with that V6 engine over the engine that's available in the CX-90. But you do have a few engine options for the Acadia, just depending on what you're going for and what you personally prefer in your SUV. But behind the wheel now for the Acadia, it drives very nice. It's super comfortable and quiet. I really don't have any complaints with it. Everything is easy to use, so the layout is very minimal. And you have a good everyday daily driving SUV. It's a little bit on the smaller side, so I wouldn't call it a full-size 3-row SUV, but it definitely gives you the room that you want, especially for this sizing. It's nice to have this amount of space, very capable too, being able to tow as well as even go off-road with the different driving modes. So that is a plus for this. Not that owners of this Acadia will take it off the pavement hardly ever, but you do have the all-wheel drive system for more inclement weather, along with being able to put it in 2-wheel drive for just normal everyday driving. So I think it's a really good combo for this price, mid $50,000 range, even a little bit lower too, just depending on the trim level that you decide to go with. But we have a lot of hidden storage everywhere, and even tech like that camera system, which is slowly trickling into other brands and manufacturers, which I think is really nice to see. And now setting off in the CX-90, we still have a good bit of pep for this smaller engine. So it's a hybrid system, of course, so it's going to give it a little bit more pep. We have more horsepower and torque than that V6, but it still can't tow quite as much as that Acadia. But as far as the driving experience goes, I would say they're pretty much equal. This is very comfortable and quiet. It's what you would expect for a vehicle like this as far as daily driving it. I will say, aside from not having the touchscreen, I think it's a little bit cleaner here, but I do like that there's no shift knob in the Acadia. But honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either. We have a little bit more space with this model, and it just depends really on the brand that you like more. We don't have quite as many driving modes in this, but we still have a really nice ride. It handles well. Seats are comfortable. You sit higher up than in the Acadia, so we definitely have a higher seating position, but a really nice vehicle overall. And so coming back to final thoughts now between the Mazda CX-90 and the GMC Acadia. MSRP for MSRP, these are the options that you get with the plug-in hybrid versus that NA V6. So like I said, you can go with some different options for the Acadia, just depending on what you'd like to get. We have that plug-in hybrid though for the Mazda. So 2 3-row SUVs, just with differences depending on what you would like to get and what you see yourself driving. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, be sure to check out both full detailed reviews on each of these vehicles. Those are linked down below. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.